Go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It's markets in the morning. Let's go. Let's do it again. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Kind of fumbled the intro there a little bit. Got it started over, but hey, welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Monday, April 17th, 2023. Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at what's going on with the price action as we get ready for the day to start and as we get ready for the United States stock market to open, which will happen in 8 minutes from right now. So let's go ahead and dive into the charts and see what's going on. We had our weekly candle closes last night. So we actually had some pretty good weekly candle closes over there and some altcoins out there and in altcoin market caps, which pretty optimistic to see those things happen in there. We've seen somewhat of a pullback happening here this morning. We see Bitcoin starting to pull back. So we see Bitcoin now at 29,454. You know, we've been talking about this for a couple of weeks. I posted this on Twitter. It's very rare that I post like calls over there on Twitter, but I've stated, as I've speculated in previous videos, I've been looking for a short squeeze in Bitcoin, which will mark a local top for a few months. Squeeze seems to be in motion. You guys know this. We've talked about this before. So the thing to watch on this, if this does end up being accurate, is an eventual pullback down to about $26,800 to $27,000. If that is the case, that will confirm to me what I'm looking for, and that looking for a retrace to come back in here. And then we're just going to hang out for a few months in here for Bitcoin. Too early to really tell, but still, this was the thought. We would have a short squeeze and then pull right back way back down in here. If that does end up being the case, that'll just kind of be our future for the next couple of months, but still just fine for 2023, which has been my thesis all along, and I'm still sticking with that. So we talked about that. Looking at the Dow Jones, looking at the stock market as we get ready for the day to open, you can see the Dow is actually up about 23 points, which is 0.07%. The S&P is down 1.25 points, which is negative 0.04%. And the NASDAQ is down 4.25 points, which is negative 0.03%. A completely flat opening to start the day. Those are insignificant numbers. That is literally flat to start the day off. We've got yields that are up this morning. Let's see if there's anything big. 5-year, 3-year, and 10-year are the leaders, 2-year leaders. So longer duration ones are leading the way with shorter durations down near the bottom, but everything is green. Metals are slightly down to start the day. We could see that gold is sitting right at $2,000, silver at $2,533. Platinum, we don't talk too much about platinum, but $1,052. Like we talked about last week, the thing about gold is it's been showing bearish divergences here. Those bearish divergences continue to show on gold as it has gotten right back up here to the top of this range. So that's that. It's a positive thing for gold as we're looking at a potential ABC here on the Dow. But again, neither of these decisions have been made as we are still stuck under retracement levels and as gold has still not gone into bull market, still ranging in here. So we don't have an answer just yet. We can see that the Dow having a little bit of a small, teeny, tiny poke, just barely the DXY, the Dow, did I say Dow? DXY, the US dollar currency index, had a slight poke a little bit lower last week, still holding in here. I showed the crashing structure in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, still waiting on that further dip to happen down in here. Speaking of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, let's take a look over here at the altcoin market cap. So this is total 3, excluding Bitcoin, excluding Ethereum. We had a breakout here last week with the weekly candle. It was able to crack through the 50-week moving average after spending 1 full year beneath it. So we finally got a break back above that one right there. As you guys know, we've talked about this. Let's put us on a smaller time frame, turn all those averages off. I'm still in full belief of all of this, that we have completed a crashing structure here for total 3, for total 2, for others, and that we are working our way back up after hitting the previous all-time high in here. It's much more clear over here on total 2 and over here on, where are you, others? There you go, others. So let's get all these off. There you go. Still very, very clear to me. This thing has bottomed. The bottom is in for the altcoin market. And it was very nice to see that we ended up getting the weekly candle breakout last week. One whole year underneath there. And I've been thinking about this too. Like, it's difficult to figure out ranges on how we're going to move back up here. This is my best guess for Bitcoin on how we're going to work out for ranging currently right now, like we've discussed on the YouTube channel and like I posted over here on Twitter. But when it comes to in here, very possible you work like this, right? And then break out. Then your mind says to yourself, especially people who kind of only know one pattern and one pattern only, what do you see? You see the one pattern, right? So this thing could still work out here for quite some time. But this still getting through here, it just more signaling, hey, that bottom has come in. This is great to see this actually happening in here. So, all right. Anything else for crypto? I have a lot that we're going to go through here. We've done Bitcoin. We've done, and like we've talked about, it looks like this could be in motion. Dow Jones, we're opening in 3 minutes. Gold, $2,002. DXY, slight bounce after slight new low last week. Breakouts in altcoins. Ethereum had the big break last week. I did write a newsletter last week, so I published that. It's available to anybody who does pay for their premium subscription over there on Substack. That is blockchainbacker.substack.com. Includes a 16-minute audio voiceover where I do read it, and we go through all of the different charts going on in here. When it comes to Ethereum, we talked about Ethereum quite a bit in here. We've discussed this chart. We're going to come back to this in this live stream. This is a pretty pivotal moment right in here for Ethereum to determine whether or not this is a legitimate breakout happening in here, or if this is like Wyckoff accumulation. So this is a pretty big answer in here because, as you guys know, we've talked a lot about the XRP price chart. My thoughts on XRP, there's a reason why it is the pinned... Get up there. There you are. The pinned post over here on my Twitter. I have left this here because I do believe that this is still the most likely outcome in my thoughts. I want to make sure it's very well aware. I know how this community can work. As prices get high, we get very excited. As prices pull back, people get very upset. I've also talked about something very, very interesting, is that I do believe we're going to go into the spring phase of Wyckoff accumulation, and that if we get down there in those 30s, that it would be like super toxic. Like it would be worse than FTX. It'd be worse than all that stuff. Do you guys see what's going on Twitter? It's like beginning. It's like you can't script it, man. It just happens on its own. It's incredible. And we haven't even gotten down to lower prices. So be interesting. Probably cover that later this week to talk all about that. I'm not worried about any of those narratives because I thought those narratives were going to be coming down the pike. But as for Ethereum, a big thing to be watching for this week for me is to see that we actually do hold the breakout level, and then at least by next week can continue marching up higher. Should we start to see Ethereum falter and pull back down in here, it starts to look an awful lot like spring phase that comes in here and then eventually works up, and all we're getting for Ethereum is a retracement. However, if you look at this, this is your typical breakout. This is typically how Ethereum does react. Let's go do this. And we're going to do this. We'll put Ethereum down here. There you go. I need a smaller time frame. Why am I not on a smaller time frame down here? Here we go. That's because I put you on a bigger time. Okay. I'll get this. Don't worry, guys. We will get it. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go. There we go. Right. So to see some follow through in here would be something that we would want. We'd want to see price to be able to continue to follow through from this breakout level and it actually be a breakout and to not be an actual fake out happening in here. This is how reversals have happened for Ethereum historically. In addition, we can actually look back to historical behavior of Bitcoin to see these style corrections too. Right in here, this is your typical correction, right? This is how things end up happening in here. So what you eventually get is you get a breakout, maybe you get a little bit of a pullback happening in here, but we shouldn't be dipping down lower. This should be holding. Should we start really pulling back in here? gives a pretty big warning sign that we could be springing our way back down to the lows. But as you can see, this is the typical corrective structure that happens in here, waddling till you get out. This needs to stay as a breakout. One of the reasons why is because you can see things that happen like this in a Wyckoff accumulation schematic. Please fit the whole thing on the screen. Yes. In that you can actually go just poke right above it, right? Totally fake your way out, and then you head back down into spring. So why would we talk about that being the potential happening in there? Because that's the kind of the thing we're looking for to happen over there on XRP right now, or at least it's the thing that I am looking for it to happen over here on XRP, as I've had posted over here on the pinned tweet since March 21st, going on almost a whole month that I've had that pinned up there. So watching to make sure that this breakout can sustain itself and that it looks like typical reversals like we've seen in Bitcoin, how these reversals can happen, how these corrections can happen. Very normal corrective behavior in here. All right, that's your normal correction. But to be able to keep things maintained and keep things going. So looks like we're getting a pullback right now. It makes sense that you're going to pull back and that you are going to eventually backtest the actual breakout level, but we want to see that it can sustain itself and keep going. As you can see, the weekly candle did get the highest weekly candle close since May of last year. Going on a year, man. What a year it's been. Highest weekly candle close there for it. There's nothing going on this week. It is a boring week this week on the economic calendar. Absolutely nothing to look at in here. As for news, I didn't see anything that really struck me over here on news, on crypto. Everything just talking about Bitcoin pulling back this morning. The Ethereum withdrawals continuing in there, still creating a narrative out of that. As for broader markets, nothing. Deposits tumble at Charles Schwab. That's really it. By the way, guys, I have an alarm on my phone right now. Oh no, did I forget to start it? Of course I did. Okay, hold on, so I can just adjust it. We'll go for 13 more minutes. My alarm's going to go off in 13 minutes. That means I need to pick up the speed and hurry up and start moving. So, all right. So we're off to the start to the pullback for Bitcoin. Has it actually begun? The thing we've been looking for some time. Where are you? Bingo, right there. Very rare that I make calls out there on Twitter, but this is what we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. So we got the short squeeze. Now are we actually working on the pullback happening in here? One thing I've talked about is I'd be like, it's hard to tell what's going to happen with the altcoin market in this time. It looks like for XRP, it's going to pull back with it too. But like I've said, I've been thinking XRP isn't going to get into some type of breakout, right? I've been saying I think that XRP is going to hold these levels and just continue waddling sideways. But for Ethereum, I've been thinking I see price action moving to the upside. I've seen that actually coming in here. And so one of the things has been, well, what will happen with the altcoin market if Bitcoin does pull back? And the other thing I'm talking about is Bitcoin dominance. We got back to the top of the range. That's a big rejection right there. That's a big rejection wick that has happened right there for the Bitcoin dominance as it got back up to that top range. You can see in here the bearish divergence that is emerging on the daily time frame, the complete rejection, the stochastic RSI completely falling off of a cliff in here. Once again, the top of the range for the Bitcoin dominance turns into a rejection again. And now we've gone back and taken out all those lows once again. So now Bitcoin dominance is at its lowest point since March 19th. That's almost 1 month. So all the last month of worrying of Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin going to $1 million in 90 days, altcoin market has been outperforming Bitcoin now officially since March 19th. So I would suspect that is the rejection for the Bitcoin dominance. It looks that any technical trader would tell you that wick, that candle, very ugly, very ugly. Another thing too is that you look over here at the indicators. You can see that the relative strength of the Bitcoin dominance was the most overbought. The last time it was this overbought, right there. The last time I got that overbought was right there. and then it rejected and tumbled its way down. So do we have that big of a tumble? I'm skeptical there's that big of a tumble coming. But like I've said, I am in the belief. I have my thesis of the market. My thesis is a retrace for Bitcoin, altcoins rallying into that, but it could take the whole year for that moment to come. And when that moment does come, they're usually short-lived. For example, if you want to say, hey, XRP is going to have a phenomenal 2023, well, a phenomenal 2023, as we saw in 2017, you could say it could only last 24 days. It could be some 24-day period in that year in 2023. So I think the big moment is coming at some point this year. I'm skeptical that it's like right here, right now, because of my thesis on this stuff right in here. But I do think we will see Bitcoin dominance eventually work its way down. But as we could see, the top of the range, once again, 4 times to the upside, 4 times to the downside. Now it just gave itself a big, fat, ugly upper shadow wick, full body close to the bottom. Yuck. Not yuck for altcoin holders, but yuck for Bitcoin dominance. That's not a positive thing you want to see if you're a Bitcoin maximalist. All right, but now we have the stock market that has just opened. You see nothing really too big, pretty mixed over here. Roblox taking a big whooping today. Something must have happened with Roblox. We can see most of the market is slightly in the green, or at least all the indexes are up slightly in the green. You can see the NASDAQ is up 0.18%, the Dow Jones is up 0.12%, and the S&P is up 0.12%. Metals are down, gold now down to 1966, DXY about the same, 101.88. As for gasoline, down about 1.5%, but oil's up 0.3%. All right. All right. After the opening, what is happening in here? Looks like there's a little bit of action happening over here on Ethereum. Do we have more green flipping happening over here? No, we do not. So there you go. Biggest winners of this morning are AVAX, Doge. Losers are Arbitrum and Casper. Both of those coming off of really, really big weeks last week. Economic calendar, like I said, nothing really going on with the economic calendar this week at all, unless if you care about housing starts, housing sales, and if you care about oil inventories, that's really it. You got your typical employment data, but as for the United States information, there's really nothing happening in the news front from economic data perspective to announce to say something crazy is going to happen. Otherwise, kind of a slow news day out there from what I see happening in the markets. As for announcements, like I said, released the Substack newsletter, premium newsletter. It's available over there at blockchainbacker.substack.com. Talking a lot about the altcoin market, the breakouts, the sustainability. And then, like we're looking over here, like we just talked about this morning, you got that breakout happening over there on total 3, total 2. You got them all over the altcoin market. A big breakout after spending a year underneath the 50-week moving average. They did get their breakouts this past week. So great to see that happening over there in the market, along with the Bitcoin dominance taking a big, fat, ugly rejection. So again, I own Bitcoin. I'm cheering for Bitcoin all day, but that's just not where the majority of my bet is placed. The majority of my bet is placed elsewhere in the market. So, all right, we talked about that. The other news going on out there, for anybody who I'll just read this really quick. I'm excited to announce, 1, all unminted blockchain backer NFT art collectibles have been burned. 2, I took a snapshot of all wallets that are holding at least one blockchain backer NFT art collectible, and a new animated art blockchain backer NFT has been airdropped to those wallets for free as a thank you. So anything that was not minted has been burned. They're all gone. The launch pad is closed. So anything that you guys own, that's it. That's the total supply. And in addition, I took a snapshot. I was a little... I'm not a fan of riddlers, but after I posted this, I realized it kind of seemed a little riddle-ish. On April 14th, I posted, moments like these, you just want to take a picture and remember it. Snap. People were like, what? I'm getting text messages. What is this? What are you doing? I'm like, you guys will know in a couple of hours. Just wait. Took a snapshot of all the wallets that held at least one blockchain backer NFT, and then airdropped one for free. So here we go. Let's see if we can play it. Hanging out. There we go, guys. There we go. Here we go. So there you go. That was airdrop for free in there. So let me read this really fast. Anybody who has owned Illustrated, if you held at least one blockchain backer art collectible NFT in your XRP wallet at 2037 UTC on April 14th, you'll see the prompt in your Zum wallet under Events Requests. Just claim or go to the link on xrp.com. You have until May 14th to claim this. Then the unclaimed will get burned. So this also means that what you see is what you get. All remaining art blockchain backer NFTs that weren't minted are gone forever. Burn, 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 burn. Every BCB artwork NFT in existence is owned by you guys. The remaining in the launchpad that didn't get minted have been destroyed. This thank you piece has been in the works for several months. I'm so glad it's finally the big day. It's been an amazing journey with this art collection, from all the hiccups of launching on day one of XLS20 to breaking the dang internet when it came out with the most mints. There was so much time and money invested into this. We wanted to do something that had never been done before, and would be obvious that it took a tremendous amount of time and effort and wasn't thrown together, but built from the heart. One thing I didn't include in this, which I wish I had after I posted it, but like when we made this, we wanted to make sure it was something that could only exist in a digital world. It's not something that you could print on a piece of paper and hang it on your wall and say, look, I got it. I've got the art hanging on my wall. No matter what, this can only exist in an electronic device. It is digital. So that was our thought process when it came to creating digital art, was that it had to only exist in a digital world. It is not printable. It must be displayed on a TV, a prompter, or whatever it is. It's digital. And that was one of the things I forgot to include in here, that was an important aspect of when I thought of digital art and what it would be, that it needed to be something that could only exist in a digital world. But when this art collection was created, we kept you guys in mind by keeping in mind the antics of the channel, hoping you would recognize many of them. The hope was that you'd recognize all of my antics and know exactly what was going on in each of them. There were some swings and some misses. Some of them sold out in a flash, and lessons were learned on what was loved and what wasn't that popular. Being the first at the gate on day one comes with risk, and those risks and gambles. And with those risks and gambles, you learn lessons to move forward. But we took the risk. It was a massive investment to do it. We were biting our nails in misery on launch day, getting no sleep for days. And that's the truth, man. It was a nightmare going through launch. That's the thing about risk. You'll have victories and you'll have defeats, and you'll learn from all of those. And I know that I've learned a lot. I'm so proud of what we made. I'm grateful for the help of my dear friend Jude and all of his help to make this happen. And thanks to the guys over there at onxrp.com. Thanks to everyone who supported the work put into this. I hope you've enjoyed having it in your collection. And we wanted to surprise you with a thank you for your support, which is why we made this artwork NFT for everyone who owns at least one blockchain backer artwork NFT. You can claim it in your Zum wallet under events. Here is the onxrp.com page, and it's BCB and the team. Here we go. Let's go. So there you go. If you have one in your wallet on last Friday afternoon, at that time, if you have one, you should see a prompt over there in your Zum wallet under events requests for like NFT airdrop, and just claim it, and it's yours, and you will now own another one. And all of the other ones that didn't go minted, some of them were in high supply. We learned a lesson, right? Some stuff, if it like wasn't epic, right? We tried a lot of different things, right? We tried like really epic ones and like lower supply but higher price, and then we tried maybe ones that weren't so epic. And that one like lowered the price really low, but it was a higher supply, and it was just a real interesting dynamic to watch what people liked and what people didn't like. So a lot of those ones were like 1,000 supply on them. They just weren't as possible and weren't as popular, and they maybe weren't as epic, but so many of them sold out. But those ones with those higher supplies didn't, and we just a fire broke out in the blockchain backer NFT artwork factory, and all of them burned up. Oh no! So that's what we got left. And so thank you guys again for your support. I hope you've enjoyed them. It was a lot of work. I can't remember if this was. It was like at least 9 months of work on that collection, and this one right here, believe it or not, this is 4 months of work to make one of them. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of brainstorming, a lot of thought process of what we want to do and how we would visualize it in these characters and bringing them to life and making them part of the team. So anyway, guys, there you go. You have it. It's yours. Thank you so much for your support. All right. So there we go. That's what's going on. That was the news. No big crypto news. No real big broader market news. And there's no economic events. There's nothing on the economic calendar this week that's going to be a really big deal outside of like oil inventories and housing stuff. Nothing really big. All right, there's my timer. So I hit stop. And I know that I need to start picking up the pace. So, all right. And then looking over there at these, we got our breakouts this past week. Now it's time to see if we can sustain ourselves and not go into some type of a Wyckoff accumulation, but to continue these types of momentums of typical corrections, right? So that's where we're at, guys. Keeping an eye on it this week to make sure we don't do anything too crazy, at least in the altcoin market, which I'm optimistic for. Big fat rejection there in the Bitcoin dominance, but we'll keep our eyes on this throughout the week. Otherwise, last week was just a great week. And you can just see that over there last week, how great of a week that is. That was the highest weekly close for total 3 dating back to August of last year. So very good. And that was the highest weekly close for Ethereum dating back to May of last year. So very good stuff. As we start the week, remember, we've been talking about this for a while. We'll see if this is going to be our follow through here now, finally, for Bitcoin. But at the same time, the optimistic thing to see there is that the Bitcoin dominance is rejecting at the exact same time as we were kind of hoping would. So, all right. That's it for today. Let me go ahead and jump in here. Oscar Hernandez right out the gates. Thank you so much, Oscar. Appreciate it, man. And then Chris says, thank you so much for the NFT. I appreciate you. The GOAT. Oh, thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate you guys, man. Zach King, could you do a trading view walkthrough in your new course? Also, any plans to offer premium trading group focused on medium and long-term and swings? Man, I have contemplated that Discord thing many times. I still have not decided on that. No serious thought to it right now. But man, it's been brought up so many times and people are asking to do something like that. I would say the only thing holding me back would just be I probably have to set some type of boundary on how much time I could spend in there, right? The thing about those things is whether or not people have the expectation that you will spend 8 hours per day in something like that, which is totally unreasonable for me to be able to do. So trying to figure out what is a reasonable amount of time I could spend in there a day, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, but can I reasonably fit that into my schedule too? That's the thing to have to think about. I wouldn't want people to have the expectations I'm in there from markets opening till markets closing every day, because it's just impossible. So that's why it's been like, I've been so on the fence about that. As for a trading view walkthrough, yeah, I've already recorded the whole trading view walkthrough, and it's 28 minutes long. So I have already recorded that. And that's why I'm going to keep markets in the morning a little bit more reasonably timed this week, guys, just so I can keep getting back to my recordings and keep getting through them this week. I have a deadline that I really want to be done by next Tuesday. Right now, I'm not on pace to be able to do that, even if I record 4 videos per day. So I have to really crank it out in here to get these videos done. Check the tape. And so, yeah, but that has been recorded in there. As for the Discord thing, I haven't decided yet. I'd have to get together a team. Yeah, I'm still a one-man show, man. I'm not doing things with a big group of people to help me. I would love to have a video editor, right? I would love to have somebody helping me with all my different things. But I still do, to this day, as I have since the beginning of the channel, I do everything. I've talked to my accountant, too, because I did pay my taxes and... we've set up a lot of things and structures and stuff. I'm like, I need employees. She's like, well, here, just hire one. I'm like, yeah, but the hard thing about your baby is like, is anybody going to care about your baby as much as you do? No. So we'll see. I got to move on. Thank you so much, Zach. Oscar, again, what changes your mind from going from $55 3 years to now 22 plus on a super cycle? Well, the video's never changed. The video has always been 13. I don't even remember what the middle number was. It 22? Was it 13, 22, 55? Right? Those were the 3 measurements, right? It was always those, right? And like I've still said, I'm still consistent with it. The 4.236 extension is still my 65% exit. I still hold the remaining 35% to if those other 2 numbers ever get hit. And if they do, I take it out there too, right? So the primary, no matter what, the 65er has always been right there at that 4.236 extension. The question is whether or not it will go any further than that. So hope that answers Oscar. Thanks, man. Dude, I always appreciate your support, dude. Craig, thank you so much. Craig Tilbury. Wow. Hey, BCB, you said you will generally be 65% out of an asset by the time it does a 4.236. Why this number? Just want to know your thought process so I can think of my own exit strategy through. Thanks. Yep, exactly. So 65 is not the perfect number for everybody, and it's not a magic number. It's from me being in this market long enough to recognize my own emotions and what causes me to do stupid stuff. If I get out all the way or if I get all in all the way, I recognize that am I making dumb, quick decisions? Am I making emotional decisions? And so 65 is a number where it's gone up enough for me to say, I'm taking some of that out. That's mine. It's mine. And if prices crumble after that, and I still have 35% in the market, I personally can live with and accept that 35 remaining going way down. But also, if the market keeps going up beyond that, I don't feel the FOMO of it continuing to rise without me. I still have the 35% exposure, but I've got the 65% in my pocket. So that's just a number I have played with in my life to know that it makes me emotionally stable. We can do all this charting stuff all we want. We can do all this stuff we want, but the cold hard reality is emotions affect people. Hardcore. No matter which direction it is, they become massively greedy at the top and they get wrong-footed. They become massively greedy for more lower prices because of the pain and the torture and everything like that. The fear has brought them in to be greedy for lower prices. It made them skepticists. It's made them doomers, right? Everything like that when things go too far. So I like 65%. It's just a number that works for me. It makes it to where if we keep going, it's all good. So like when we get up here, I'm going to be watching this market very, very closely and likely 65% exiting from the market right in here. I'll be watching it closely unless something completely changes and happens in there. But right now, this is what my plan is, a 65% exit from the market right in here. And I'm hoping that, this range can be tricky. What if it does this? And then it's still a long ways away before this happens. And this is the moment where the altcoin market's running here in late, like we're talking about the fractal for XRP. It's like in September, October, November, and all the crazy stuff happens over here. I'm 65% exiting from the market way over here. It's possible. But that's my current plan right now. And then, I will have ridden 100% to here. What happens if we break through here and go to here? It means that my 35% will have ridden up to here, but 65% will not have. And I'm willing to miss that to where I caught the bulk of the move, 200-something%. I miss 38%. And then, I make my decisions on how I want to re-enter things later. Retail will be screaming here. Retail will be screaming, don't you understand? We are going to moon. Do you not understand? It will be the exact same people who said we're going to 100K here and the exact same people who said we're going to 12K here. Still, to this day, there has never been one chart provided for why we were going to 12K. Not one. And how many thousands of people told me that that's where we were going? If you've picked that number because a doomer on Twitter was telling you it and didn't provide you a chart as to why, sorry, man. I gave every reasonable justification for why the bottom would be in. All the things that were happening there in the market, bullish divergence, most oversold in history. You got your stock RSI, just zoom into the upside. Went on to BitBoy's channel, make myself look like a dingus in front of 50,000 people to be like, yeah, I think the bottom is in. 12K. Literally not a single chart was ever provided for why we would go to 12K, but the masses believed that's where we're going. And why? Emotions, man. Emotions. So I hope you guys are keeping that emotional log. I am telling you, if you are not doing that, I've told you 100 times to do it. I've told you 100 times. It's going to save you. There's nothing more important than getting those emotions under control. So anyway, 65%. Thank you, Craig. Sorry, then I started messing around with charts while I'm talking. All right, Gino, thank you so much. Gino D. Emilio. A friend and his wife went to the Taylor Swift concert last week in Tampa and said that it was fire and that he's now a Swiftie. Said that it may be the best show he's ever seen. Love your content. Thanks, Gino. All right, let me just say this, dude. If any of you are on the fence about thinking that, whatever, Tay, here's the deal, okay? The number one way you can support the Blockchain Backer YouTube channel is tonight. You're going to take out 2 hours of your time. You're going to get into bed. You're going to relax. You're going to put this on your TV, your wife, your girlfriend, whatever. They're going to say, what are we doing? Why are we watching this? You can say, listen, I have to do it because Blockchain Backer told me to do it. He said it was the number one way to support the channel. You're going to turn on Netflix, and you're going to search for Taylor Swift Reputation Stadium Tour. You're going to watch that whole thing for 2 hours. You're going to report back to me tomorrow, and then you're going to do exactly like Gino's friend said, that he became a Swiftie. You're going to watch that, and then you come back here and you tell me that thing sucked. Sir, I will put you on a 5-minute timeout. But for real, you got to go watch that. If you think I'm crazy, go watch it. Taylor Swift Reputation Stadium Tour on Netflix. You'll love it. I don't like Taylor Swift. You like Taylor Swift. All right. Dylan Kerr. Thank you. First super chat from Dylan. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Gino. Oscar. I missed out on your NFTs. I didn't have the funds. No. Sorry, bro. Yeah, it's out of my control too, right? That's the cool thing about NFTs. They're on the ledger. There's nothing I can do about it. It's out there, man. Dylan Kerr. There you go. Dylan figured it out the second time. There you go. I know you don't like to pull up certain altcoin charts, but is the way you could read a good buy for Quaint or Casper. Both had a pop from the low, but can they go back lower? Appreciate everything. Right, so I'm not going to give you buy or sell signals, but I did know a Casper question would come up today, and I was prepared for it. I know you guys. I know it. I knew there would be Casper questions, so let's talk about it really quick. Tay Backer, Brett Garlicus. So, here's the deal with Casper, right? So, as you guys probably know, Casper took a pretty big jump to over the weekend. We've been talking about Wyckoff accumulation. Now, it's in the same situation here as like Ethereum and as XRP. Now, it's at this point of, okay, is this a confirmed breakout, or is this about to head into spring phase of Wyckoff accumulation, right? So it's this big breakout here. Now, one of the things we talked about with the issues with Casper from monitoring the actual price chart, right? So this doesn't have to do with the asset, doesn't have to do with the network, the success of the network. Hey, man, maybe it's the next Ethereum, maybe it's the next best thing since bread garlic house. Maybe it's the next best thing. But the issue that you have here is the supply dynamic, right? So this is the peak of Casper right back there on November 30th, 2021. Since that time period, the supply has increased by over 300%. So yesterday you saw the pop happen over there with Casper. Where was it? Look at the market cap. The market cap goes and slams the all-time high. So we're talking, this is November 30th of 2021. It went into its long bear, bottomed in June, like everything, like we have said. Then it goes all the way back to the all-time high. The problem is Casper has had a massive inflation problem over the course of that time. Look how low the price still is. So I don't think you're really going to be able to use the actual price chart to determine how high this thing could go. For me personally, I'd be paying more attention to the market cap of it. So if the market cap of Casper does do like a 4.236 extension up here, that's a price rise of about 300%. How long that will take, don't know. A 300% rise on the asset price in here, where does that get you back? Almost back to the all-time high. And that's an unfortunate thing of the inflationary problem that Casper has had over the course of the last year, is that right now, Casper should be all the way back up here right now. But because of all the inflation, the big supply that was added to the market, you sit way, way, way down here while this is way up here. Now, they've improved the inflation problem, right? It was like over 100% per year. Now it's down to like 10%, maybe even less. So that solution is in place now for supply. But, you can see the issue. So what happened yesterday, it was going to whack into that all-time high. So it could need some pulling back happening in here. And in addition, if you're looking at just the price chart alone, are you about to go into the Wyckoff spring phase of accumulation? So as for Casper, I'm telling you, yesterday I was feeling the FOMO too. Like I don't own much Casper because this has kind of been the issue for me here. All that just buying and holding can be problematic on it. But I was feeling the FOMO yesterday. But I definitely would, I'm definitely cautious of this right in here. Just like we are with Ethereum and like we are with XRP. With XRP, let me get a different one on here. Which one we can get rid of the DXY. Sorry, I'm not talking. It's all quiet. Like, is it broken? Is he talking? All right. The Wyckoff phase incoming here for XRP. Do you have the same thing for Casper coming in here? Is this Wyckoff phase as well? And then that's the same thing we're waiting on for Ethereum. Is this confirmed breakout on its way? It sure looks like it. This does not look like what Wyckoff Spring looks like for Ethereum. But just have to be cautious that it could be, because this is how they happen. They go above there, and then they trap, and then they go. So now it's also the same situation over there for Casper, especially since Casper's market cap hit its all-time high, and Casper could be doing the same thing. So I'm cautious on there, and I wouldn't feel comfortable saying what I think is the right thing to do there because it is in this situation. We have to see continuation, and that's why this is written this way. It's a defining breakout in the moment and decision time is that we do need to see right now on things like, did I just lose Ethereum? Come on. No, it's right here. We need to see that this thing can continue right here because if it can continue, then we're just more optimistic for these types of consolidations in here. But as we can show, these can be the final phases that happen right before spring phase happens. Right? So it's a defining moment to see the direction of the market happening right now. Will we move up one more level before this accumulation happens? Or do we spring phase from right here? And we're waiting for that decision to come right now. So... as for Quaint, I'm not really following Quaint that closely. I know that's another popular one in the XRP community. Where are you? You're in here, right? There you are. Not a clear direction. You got wide open gaps down in here. If the whole market is going into spring, Quaint's got that ugly thing going, but in the cold hard reality, this could be sideways accumulation either. I don't have a clear read on Quaint. I wouldn't be comfortable saying either way. What I would say is there's big gaps down here. It also did bounce there in June. It's never had a real pullback from there. So it was kind of the first ones to just kind of get away. This almost looks like a pullback followed by an A, B, C corrective wave. And in that case, you'd be looking at, that's wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, but the problem is it's still could be sideways. So I don't have a position in Quaint. I don't own any Quaint right now because I have no clear read to make a guess on it. So I couldn't guess up, I couldn't guess down, and for that I own 0. But that's just my personal thoughts. How are we doing now that the market's been open for a minute? So the same Link. So Link's trying to get its way out, right? We've been watching this one in Wyckoff accumulation for some time. Still just not quite able to get there. I think it had its highest weekly candle close. Let's look at that. Highest week dating back to, like many things, back to August. So there was only 2 other weeks that closed higher than last week for Link. Again, trying to see, do we get the confirmation breakout happening in here? And our buddy XRP, still the same old thing. Just kind of waddling in here. So XRP, right? So we could talk about this really quick. I'm not going to get into all the semantics of drama on Twitter and stuff like that. I just don't care. So one thing we've talked about with the price of XRP is that if this was the case, we would definitely see a lot of toxicity return back to the market. If you look over there on Twitter, we're starting to see that emerge. There's starting to be a lot of distrust, disfaith in Ripple. And the narratives aren't true. Even like stuff about David Schwartz, right? You're seeing the churning starting to happen in here in the market of, I'll be frank, dude. I think the XRP community is kind of going through some growing pains right here, and I'm happy to see it. I think we're going to grow up a little bit. I've never been about, the buyback stuff, peg to gold, quantum financial system, Trump. The Fed's going to give us $10,000 per XRP, which then eventually became 35,000, then became 50,000, then became 122,000 and 512,000. I've never believed in any of that, but it's been difficult watching those kind of narratives happen, and we're kind of seeing like a lot of stuff get unwound there, and there was a lot about the liquidity hub with Ripple using XRP, and everybody's like, and you just see it building, you see it beginning. And that this is going to be the growing pains that the XRP community is going through. And I was having a text message with some people today, you know who you are, that I'm excited for this to happen, because this is where we kind of grow up a little bit. This is where things start getting more real, and we can start focusing on the real things going on with XRP and the real development going on with XRP. And start working on growing the XRP ledger and doing things on it, rather than sitting around like believing in a bunch of conspiracy theories and waiting for switches to flip and waiting for CBDCs and waiting for a peg to gold or for the Fed to buy it back. But we start getting real about it, and like, how do we build on it? How do we make things? How do we grow it? How do we have a network effect happen on it? That's what I'm excited about, that we get to hopefully move beyond this. And I think there's going to be a growing pain that happens right here, because a lot of people do believe in those other things, that we just need to sit around and wait for the switch to be flipped because it's the world reserve currency and the Fed's going to buy it back for $400 quadrillion. And I think that group's going to wake up a little bit, and I'm excited for that, because we get to be more serious. And I think once we're more serious, we get to really grow in a real way, rather than sitting around in a fake world waiting for nothing to happen, because nothing ever happens, right? I've been in here for 6 years listening to these theories of none of them ever happening. But now, like, growth and development. I'm really thrilled. I think this is a growing pain. I think it'll be tough for a minute. I've expected that we would have some type of flooding event coming in here. I think that's what we're getting right now. And I think we're going to watch a lot of people drop out. I think we will watch a lot of people drop out. But I couldn't be more happier to see us like start turning the page and getting more focus on the real deal. And I think the rest of the crypto community will take us more serious in that way too. So I'm excited for what's coming, and I know it's going to be a rough patch, and I know a lot of people are probably disappointed by the things they're seeing on Twitter with maybe the expectations that they had. I think you had a validator announce that they're going to be discontinuing their validator on the 30th. And he concluded his letter by saying there will be no Fed buyback. He's just gotten over it. So we're having an actual XRPL validator turned off because they're so sick of the narratives. And so we're having real life consequences coming from these narratives and these speculations and whether they're even real speculations or if they're really good clickbait to sell products. But I'm glad to see that we can hopefully move on from this. So I'm excited, man. I know it's tough, but I've said this all along that I don't believe any of the narratives that go on out there, and I think we're growing up. So I'm happy, man. This is a rough patch we're gonna go through, but long term, I think this is the turning page I personally have been waiting for us to like be real serious about this and not just sit on the sidelines waiting for a switch to be flipped, but we're gonna flip the switch ourselves. So, all right. That's it for XRP, my little motivational speech I didn't even know I was going to be giving. So there you go. Bitcoin dominance turned to the downside. Let's go back to these questions real quick. There's John Fed. Right. The next question was Casper. You should check out John Fahy. You should check out CSPR from a fundamental level, BCB. I know you think chart-wise it's not great, but it's a big project. Yeah. And that, like, I have never said a bad thing about CSPR, right? Everybody got that straight, right? You go find everything I've ever said, nothing. It's all a tokenomics issue for me. And the tokenomics thing has been corrected, right? So it's like 10% inflation rate now, right? And it could be the next thing since sliced bread, and it could be a top 5 crypto, right? No problem. But you can see the problem here. You can see that the market cap is back to all-time high, and that the token price is still way down here. And that was a tokenomics issue that has happened here. So anybody who bought, even you bought the all-time high, you would hope that, hey, I'm back, right? Or you bought later, you bought here, you would hope, hey, I'm back. But the problem is, the problem is corrected, right? The thing is, now it's going to be, if a 4.236 extension is going to be a problem here, it's not that far away. And that would mean that it wouldn't be able to set a new all-time high. So people are just going to have to pay attention to that really closely. But yeah, it looks great. I don't know of any other coins really that have gone back to their all-time highs on market caps. That is a testament for CSPR or Casper in the first place. What market caps are hitting their all-time highs right now? Not many, if any, that I've seen, right? Not anything that's been around since 2021. So this is a testament to how strong it is. The problem is the token price, and that's because of the inflation. So I think you're probably right. There's something going on with Casper. There's something that is giving it strength and interest that is bringing the market cap all the way back to the all-time high. Just not for token holders, though. So, all right. Texas Takeover. I claimed the free NFT yesterday. Thank you, BCB. Sweet. Thanks, Texas Takeover. I'm glad you like it. Cryptology. Hey, BCB. A friend and I call each other every day and say, hey, what's going on? BCB voice. Can you please give him a shout out? Hey, what's going on, Reza? There you go. Thanks, Cryptology. Oscar. Yeah, man. Oscar says, Oscaria Hernandi. Eric's baby name. That is the name that I gave for Eric's baby. He told me that he considered the name that XRP, the Standard Productions, gave, which was like Penelope P. He said he really thought about that, but he never mentioned to me that he actually considered mine, which was Oscaria. So I don't know if we should take offense to that. I did. Okay. All right. Troy Torrance. Blockchain backer. Where do you believe we will see? Uh-oh. Here we go. I got a when moon. When moon. Troy Torrance says, blockchain backer. So when do you believe we will see a new all-time high for Bitcoin? If we ever see one at all. That's that when moon question, buddy. Troy, we'll see it the day that you sell your Bitcoin and that you sell your crypto. The market is waiting for you. So no, I don't have a when for you, buddy. Jazz, but thank you. Jazz D. Hi, BCB. Could you look? That is why riddlers are popular. They don't give you an actual date, but they give you illusion that they're giving you a date. Then the date passes and they say, see, you were just too stupid to be able to analyze my riddle and realize that was not the date all along. Let me give you another clue with a date further out. See, you couldn't get it. No one date time is nearly impossible to predict. But the market is flying. And as for Bitcoin setting a new all-time high, right? My thesis is that this is a retracement. That if my thesis is correct, that this is only a retracement, then it would be years away. If my thesis is incorrect, and if we're doing this same old stuff right in here, all that stuff, that puts you right around here. if you're just going to use the past as any type of indicator and say that, hey, we're doing the exact same thing, well, this would indicate we were about 1 year away. In both of these, well, not this one, right? This one, we were still a year and a half away, right? Where were we at here? May. And then we didn't get out until a year and a half later. But then on this one, which was more time appropriate, right? A little bit over a year. So, you know, it just depends on what your theory is. If your thesis is that we're just kind of repeating cycles, we're doing cycles all over again, if you care about 4-year block reward halvings and all that good stuff, you'd be about a year out. If you're more in my thesis camp, that, you know, that's the kind of the case going on in here, it could be many years out. But as for timing, who knows, man? Jazz D, BCB, could you look at this coin? Let me see what that coin is without bringing it up on screen. Okay, it is available over there on Coinbase. What's your question? It's still a when moon. What's going to happen for the next 2 months? Okay, I don't know what this is. I know the price is already very high. You say, what will the price do over the next 2 months? Off the lows, you are already up 600%. What is it? Again, the June lows. Bottom has been in for most of this market since June, unfortunately for a lot of people. So look at this Wyckoff accumulation. Did you get a good enough pullback? It's close. No new high. And near the top of the range. So for me personally, in something like this, I'd be a little cautious here near the top of this range with wide open gap. For one more pullback down into here. And there's a pretty clear risk to reward ratio in here to disprove that. Right there. So it's about a 4-to-4 risk to reward ratio, right? So everybody wants to like be 100% traders. That's not the name of the trading. The best trader in the world will tell you that is not what trading is. Trading is about figuring out how to minimize losses and maximize risks, where if you flip a coin 100 times, and if you only get it right 50 times, right? If you are so good that all you do is you're a coin flipper and half the time you're right, that makes a phenomenal day trader if you can be right 50% of the time. And the name of the game is math. If every time you lose the coin flip, you only lose 12%, but every time you get the coin flip correct, you, whatever that number is, probably 40%, 53%, right? So if you flip the coin 100 times, 50 times you get it wrong and lose 12%, 50 times you get it right and you win 53%, boom, you're the man. Like you will do very good day trading. And that is what day trading truly is. You are not a 100%er. You're just maximizing the risk. So you're back near the top of the range. It's already so high up. I don't see data further than that. That's where I go to CoinTrader. What was it? The name is RNDR. I'm not buying this, by the way. So I have no clue what this is. Okay, so there you go. Okay. Actually, not bad, but I wouldn't be surprised if the ranging will continue before the next level. It's not bad, but it's at the top of the range. And so if this is consolidated, so A, B, C, back to Wyckoff, like this is standard Wyckoff, right, guys? Okay, there you go. Let's take all that off. There you go. So I don't know. I'd think there's probably a range top boundary coming in here for it. But I'd let it breathe. I'm not feeling any FOMO to chase that. But not bad. However, I have no idea what that is. So you guys need to do your own research on that. I have no clue what that is. Loop ring supply chart. That's LRC, right? This is just an error on CoinTrader Pro. Even so, it's not a problem because where is it? It's just that. What is that? Like a 3% rise? Yeah. It looks pretty flat. If that's even accurate, I don't know. Does loop ring not have a high rise? Even if that's an error and if it is going at this velocity, that's still not bad. Like here's 2022, here's 2023. That'd be an inflation rate of 0.28%. Is that right? I don't know. Doesn't seem bad. Not Oscar Hernandez. What's up, not Oscar Hernandez? Good morning, BCB. How do you get the log button back on TradingView? All right, man, this is just random. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I updated Chrome recently. And it's working. It's back. Maybe close all your windows, open it back up, and maybe it'll return. Otherwise, you've seen it here, man, on the live streams. It's been annoying. I have to hit Alt-L, or I have to right-click over here and then go to log, or I have to click down here on the cog wheel and go to log. It's been really annoying. I don't know why they've done that. Like the last year and a half, TradingView has been like making silly things on their updates, and they still to this day have not fixed this. To where if you do this on log scale, it's not appropriate. We should be perfect right there, right? Notice how I have it lined up perfectly here, but it's short over here. A year and a half, and their support tells me, "Oh, you're doing it wrong." Like, no, I'm not, man. Because look, here's the problem. I take it off log, I do it, and then I go back to log, and then suddenly it fits. So for anybody who is having that problem, that is the workaround. Take it off of log scale, grab it in linear, go back to log, and then it works. So TradingView, get your stuff together, dude. Bo Quacky, welcome as a backer. Thank you. Crypto Quester, ACP seems compelling after research. Market cap fibs back from September 2021 as a 1.0 also make it seem like there's a lot of room to grow. Can you check? I don't know what the 1.0 is. Market cap fibs back from September of 2021. I do own a little bit of ICP. I don't really know much about it, but I do own some. There's the dollar chart. Market cap chart. There's the retracement levels. 4.2 or 0.702 is 400% away. What are you saying? September of 2021. That's this mark. ICP compelling market cap as a 1.0, so make it seem there's a lot of room to grow. Can you check? It just depends. You know, we watched a lot of things happen there in 2021 with this market. Just because something's in the top doesn't mean it ran. 2021 was very different from 2017, right? Are they lagging? Are we going to see the rotation this time where all the stuff that didn't go in 2021 is the stuff that goes, and all the stuff that did go in 2021 only goes into retracements? Maybe. But as for ICP, we'll see. This is really this is legitimately your chart. This is what you got to work with. We know that probably is a technical all-time high, as was with Casper, which Casper was November 30th. We can probably speculate this is the high right here for ICP, September 21st, and use that level. And things I'll be watching for would be the retracement levels first, and if not retracement levels, then trying to get beyond there. But thank you, Crypto Quester. Technic, what's up, Technic G? What's up, brother? Please send a huge shout out to my best friend, Lil Steve. I got him into crypto, and he got me into XRP. Have a great day, y'all. Go GRT. What's up, Lil Steve? Thank you, Technic. Crypt Keeper. Shout out to everyone who's accumulating, and to BCB for always knowing what to say regarding emotions. Let's all meet in Hawaii when we quit our jobs. Dude, I'm down. I've never been to Hawaii. Tim, nice but dim. Thanks, Tim. First timer. Are you expecting a new all-time high on Chainlink? It's possible. The setup has one that could look like it. And I will hold some to try to get it. But I'm definitely going to be taking stuff out at the retracements. But I hope so. But as typical, I'll be taking some out at retracements. All right. But there we go. I made it. Here we go. We're at 1 hour and 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and end this thing so I can get back to work. Sorry, I slammed my phone down right there. And I'm on my way. Yeah. So, all right, guys, that's it to start the new week. We can see the stock market about flat to start the week. Big mix over here in actual equities. Metals down. Gold, 1991. We were talking about the bearish divergence showing up last week. It's really starting to set in now. See the big bearish divergence on the daily time frame emerging over there. XRP still waddling around sideways. Are we already there? Are we already there? One or the other. We know that the height of it reached as high as if it did already hit this peak way up in here, but still just absolutely in Waddle Factory City. Bitcoin already beginning to give us what appears like a pull down in here. We talked about this a lot last week, especially over here, or the weeks prior. Just been kind of sitting around waiting. Even I've been baffled on how long Bitcoin's been able to hold itself up in here right now. We'll see if that ends up being the case, as the Bitcoin dominance has begun to take a plunge back to the downside after hitting the top of the range for the fourth time. 4 times on the top, 4 times on the bottom. There we are, big fat nasty weekly candle right there for the Bitcoin dominance, and I'll take that all day long. Otherwise, nothing big on the economic calendar today. Mixed start over there in equities, slight down over here in the cryptocurrency market to start the week. And after coming off of a big week last week and finally getting that break there for the altcoin market above the 50-week moving average for the first time in over a year. But all right, guys, that will be it for this one. Again, newsletter was posted last week. You can check that over there at blockchainbacker.substack.com. And for those who held a Blockchain Backer NFT, all of the remaining ones that were not minted have been burned. They're gone forever. And then check your wallet, check under events, requests in your Zum wallet. You'll see that you have been airdropped a new one for free as a thank you. But all right, guys, that's going to be it for this one. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you. I got to get going so I can get back to recording other stuff. I've been a recording madman over here, and then I've got multiple things I'm doing for the rest of the month that are just going to keep me busy. We will get back to videos next week. I promise, okay? These are just stuff I've got to get done, and then we're back on the grind. Everything's back to normal again starting over the course of the next couple of weeks. I am traveling a few times, and some of my videos will be while I'm on the road. But videos are not gone forever. This is just a temporary thing, and we'll be right back to it, guys. So, all right. Whiskey, too, reminding me to like the video. I forgot to ask you guys if you could like this live stream, but I'm going to go ahead and do my outro, so I usually ask you anyway. All right. All right, if you've tuned in this long, but... All right, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.